I'd like some tools. Like, well, the watering can and the metal detector. Although I suppose I would have preferred the sledgehammer and the shovel, but it's kind of a crapshoot. Besides, I've already got the key card. Long as I keep ending my calling in today in the billiard room, or should I say the break room. Security doors are actually a benefit rather than a liability. Isn't that right? Good dog. Speaking of, I heard that. Yeah, here we go. 3. Or should I say -3? The square of that times 1 is, of course, 9. The square of 4 is 16. Flip that around, 61. -60. Yeah. 18 minus 7 is 11. Square. Flip the digits of that is 11. Ignore everything else is still 11. Oh, thank you. I already have a couple of keys. So the Mount Holly gift shop. And what about the rest of this? How about the bedroom? Ooh, I got the coins nice and early this time. Of course, how was I supposed to know that? If I had, then I would have left my allowance behind to accrue interest. Ooh, hello. You know, after going over a new clue, I'd like to check out Realm and Ruin again. I might have had that that puzzle all wrong, where you start counting X, Y, Z, A, B, C, the words and the pages. Oh my goodness. That's really early for the throne room. Well, there's no way I can afford it. I'm glad it's in the draft pool, though. Shovel. Alright. We'll go this way, then. The drawing room. Just climb up on that thing? Yeah. Yeah, I totally did. I didn't know you could do that. Okay, and... you know what? Sure. I won't actually go into the conference room. But... I'd like to have it there. It's early for the spare master bedroom. And I'd rather not spend the gems for the greenhouse, even though it is no longer a dead end, but... the Cloister of Mila. It's a little too soon for the Mechanarium. do have a watering can. So I will water my gems. I don't want to lose any items right now. And I need a sledgehammer. I could really use one of those. I'll have to do it with the parlor for now. A box with a true statement contains gems. A box with a false statement contains the gems. Okay, so this obviously isn't the well. Actually, I think both of those can be true if the box with the gems in it has a true and a false statement. A box mentioning the word true contains the gems. It could be this one. Well, okay, maybe not. If all three of these are true, then the gems aren't here. A box with only true statements contains the gems. The blue box contains the gems. A box with a statement that is also on another box contains the gems. Well, which statement is that? A box with a false statement contains the gems. That will be the box that with a statement that is on another box. Now, if this were true, then the box containing gems needs to be the mixed one, which has true and false statements in it. That can't be the blue box. So that would make this false. Both of these false. Well, not necessarily. It's possible for another box to have a true, all true statements. But it's not this one because the blue box doesn't, in this scenario, contain the gems. A box with another statement that is also on another box contains the gems. Well, I don't know, is this box going to be the mixed box or the all false box? What is the name of that? A box with a false statement contains the gems. Well, see, if this isn't true, then that knocks out the black box too. It's possible that all three of these can be false, which would make the black box, well, black box is kind of up in the air. But that would mean the gems are in the white box. Aren't they? I mean, it said that a box with the word true contains the gems. Well, the white box meets that criteria, and if so to keep all the statements on the blue box true, the white box would have to contain the gems. If it did, then I think all three of these statements are false, which means that the ones on the black, let's see, box with a false statement contains gems. This is true. The white box contains gems is also true. Box mentioning a specific color contains gems. Now, all three of those are true. Well, let's try and see what happens here. Yeah, there we go. Keep forgetting I don't have the sledgehammer. Even though the sledgehammer is an important tool, as is the shovel. Let's see if they're in here. Oh, here's the shovel. Honestly, I'd prefer the sledgehammer, but I'll take this one. Especially since, if I dig in a room, the dogs will dig up all the... well, the doors will all unlock. I'm not going to say that the dogs are going to do anything there. That would be kind of weird. I'd like the trophy room, but I can't afford it. Tell you what, the parlor isn't as risky as the study, because the study's a dead end. I don't know how I came to have two parlors. Only one of this box's statements are false. The gems are in a box with 3 statements. Hang on a second. Okay, so that rules out the white box, if this is true. There are the same number of true and false statements on boxes. This is false. The white box only has 2 statements. Both of these can be true. They can be in the black box, because the black box has a false statement on it already. What about here? Only one of these boxes statements is true. Gems are in a box with a true statement. Gems are in a box with 2 statements. Well, if both of these are true, if the gems are in the black box, then this bottom one is false. The problem is I don't... well, black box has 3 statements, so this middle one is true. And only one of this box's statements is true. Well, funny thing, if that's false, then it's true. If it's true, then it's false. Because it's one true, one false. If there were 2 falses, or 2 true, if there were 2 false statements on this box, then this top statement would be true as well. Would be false as well. If there are both true statements on this box, then this top statement would be false. So this top statement can only be false. Which arguably means that maybe the gems aren't in a box with a true statement at all. So all 3 of these can be false. But that would mean that the gems are in a box without a true statement, with no true statements on it. And that might rule out the black box. But it does, because the black box has a true statement on it. 1 true statement. That's the black... well... actually, no, it is 1 false statement. If the gems are in the black box, that makes... that makes this middle statement true. And this one's another one of those where if it's... well, if it's false, it's sort of a wild card, you know what I mean? So there's 1 false and 1 true, and this thing, it doesn't really matter. Of course, let's see, I think these 3 pretty much have to be all false, or... wait a second. I think both of these bottom 2 statements can be true. If the middle one's true, then... if the bottom one's true, then the middle one's true. If the bottom one's false, then the middle one can still be true. But if all 3 of these statements are false... well, if all 3 of these statements are true, well... they can't all be true. So this is either all false or mixed. Either way, we need to find a box with all true statements on it. And it's got to be the white box, which says the gems are in a box with a false statement next to this box, meaning it's blue or black. Gems are in a box with 3 statements, that's true. Only one of these boxes statement are, well, they're the same number of true and false statements in the boxes. This is false, this is true, which means that all 3 of these have to be false. The gems are not in a box with any true statements on it at all. And that would put them in the blue box. Okay, let's draft from here. Okay, this keeps the path going. If I get the throne room again, I'd like to draft it. Somehow. Ah, but the secret garden is more important because that's how I can get to the anteroom. Good dogs. Let's see if we can get to the foundation from here. Oh, as much as I like the treasure trove, wait a second. The locker room spreads keys throughout the house, but they're going to be collected in the conference room. Should I risk this? No, I'm not going to risk it. I could draft a hallway off of this. I mean, I've got like 2 green rooms already. I'll probably get a 3rd. Yeah, here we go. The corridor. Perfect spot for it. And here's the dining room. Yeah, it's lunchtime. Now, if I draft in this direction, I'll put the workshop in here. There's a sledgehammer at last. Metal detector must have picked up its head. Okay, I'm gonna have to block this off. Chamber. I was hoping to get the bed chamber, which can only be drafted on this facing south on the west side. Well, the rotunda costs a bit, but it can rotate.